And here's the Moneyball number. Under a million on initial jobless claims, 881,000. 881,000. Of course, that is a new low considering that we started around March 20th with 3.3 million, and it has moved lower. It's been snugging around a million. It popped above it. So this is indeed good news, and it really does give us an idea that the seasonal adjustment process might have had some surprises in both directions. On continuing claims, a big miss, which is a good thing. We're expecting 14 million. It's 13,254,000. So 13.254 million. Both these numbers are less than expected, and I'm sure revisions may be coming, but at the moment I don't see them. And as Steve pointed out, I'm not sure that they're all that important, but we do see that the 1,006,000 last month on initial claims moved up a smidge to 1,011,000, and continuing claims moved from an original 14.535 million to 14.492 million. There is one more number out. That is the trade balance for July. Of course, it is a deficit, and it's bigger than expected, minus 63.6 billion. And this has been trending larger and larger. We want to look at the complexion, of course, between imports and exports to get a better idea of exactly where the issue is stemming from. But we look at the interest rate complex. It has ticked up a bit, only a basis point or two in tens. But nowadays, that is big because, of course, interest rates just don't seem to be able to garner any selling pressure, pushing them higher. The Federal Reserve, of course, is the champion of interest rates, and many believe lower for longer, at least at this point, is something they're going to strive for. Becky, back to you.
Hey, Rick, just watching the futures, the Dow futures bounced into positive territory for a little bit of this. But again, better than expected numbers on both continuing and the new claims coming in. That's pretty important.
Oh, I think it's very big news. Now, of course, we all acknowledge that we'd like to go back to the 282,000 that we had before the coronavirus hit. That was the last normal number, March 13th, I believe. But all things considered, we are in this chapter. We're going to do our best to get to the epilogue of the COVID-19 situation. But all in all, we are making progress, various parts of the country, in different ways.
Rick, thank you. Steve, let's get your reaction on this, too. What do you think?
You know, I kind of half share Rick's enthusiasm and I half don't share it. 800. I'm still sort of scratching my head where 6 months into this crisis that we have had, we're still having 881,000 people file for initial jobless claims. We still have something, I haven't had a chance to total it yet, but I think it's 26 million people are still receiving either continuing claims or the pandemic unemployment assistance. But both of those are better numbers than we've had before. All of that is better than we've had before. But as Rick pointed out, normal is like 200,000. So an additional 600,000 people are still losing their jobs or still filing for unemployment claims. We had a big surge in California, up 40,000, big decline in Florida, and I thought I saw an increase in Texas, for 4,600, and I thought I saw one in Arizona as well. So, just up 1,000 there. But it makes me curious about what's going on in the economy as to whether or not we have really two different dynamics happening. One dynamic is people coming back into the workforce, and that's pushing down this number, also helping out tomorrow's jobs number in terms of gains. Another force seems to be pushing it up in terms of the scarring that happened in the economy, the businesses that aren't going to open. There was talk yesterday in the Federal Reserve Beige Book about companies that went from furloughed employees to permanent layoffs. There's a lot of that happening in the economy right now, Becky. It makes me nervous for the long term and maybe positive for the short term that we're making progress in the right direction, but there's some underlying dynamics that are worrisome in the economy still.